Hey folks, it's Rob, and this is Kerbal Space Program, and we're in update 0.25 nowadays, and this is just the sandbox mode I've opened up. Thought I'd mess around a bit. Was kind of inspired by sitting around watching the Orion launch fail to happen yesterday. I was up for so long, and then the launch never happened because of the wind. But I thought, hey, let's make a video. And also, my voice is much better. I haven't made a video in like 3 weeks, but it's that's because I kind of tore my throat apart coughing. As it is, it's still not 100%, but we're trying. So I thought, hey, let's go and mess around in Kerbal Space Program just for fun. So let's go and see what we can build. The blank slate of the Kerbal assembly building. All those little engineers wandering around down there, and technicians, and even Werner von Kerbin down there. Right there. He's right there. Yeah. He's looking at his clipboard, but, you know, he's with us. Has nothing to do with those Neo Kerbins. He just wanted to make rockets. Now, what can we do? I want to make an interplanetary probe. I think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to make an unmanned probe because I don't want to lose. An unkermined probe because I don't want to lose any of my Kerbins. So I'm going to start with the Stay-Putnik, I think. Now, the Stay-Putnik is a nice little top, as it were. It will allow us to operate an unmanned. I'll just use normal brilliance, an unmanned probe, so we can, actually do a mission without actually having to risk a Kerbin's life. So, why don't I build the upper assembly and then we'll come back. So, here we have a rather basic probe. I'm not actually planning on landing this on a planet, so what I've done is, this is a communication array dish that's all packed up right now. This is a gravioli detector, and this is an acceleration detector. And these 4 objects sticking out the sides here are actually nuclear generators of a type that you can get. They are radioisotope thermoelectric generators. So they are attached to a bank of batteries, which will help us supply power to the xenon-fueled ion engine, which will drive the probe to wherever I need it to go in the end. Will also help us with any kind of insertion maneuver or whatever. It certainly will not provide enough power to handle any kind of escape from high gravity. So what we're going to need to do is build a launch vehicle under this thing. But hey, I've done that before. And it's still Kerbal Space Program, so if it explodes, it explodes, and if it falls apart, it falls apart. And also, honestly, while the atmospherics are still just kind of only slightly there, it won't bother this thing launching like this. There's no way for me to build a shroud or cover it up in some way so I can launch it into space in a normal fashion. If you tried launching this as a real space probe on top of a real rocket, it would be torn apart. So, yeah, let's start building some launchcraft. Okay, I may have gone a little overboard. First off, I made a small adjustment to the probe itself. I added 2 large solar panels, so that I'm not totally relying on these. Frankly, I haven't used these before. Radioisotope decay batteries, so I don't know if they're actually going to provide enough power for sustained operation of the engine. So what do we have? Well, this here is a monopropellant tank, and these are vernier thrusters, of which we have 8 on the central core. The central core is asparagus into these 4 outer tanks. There are 4 conventional thrusters under each one of the outer, and one slightly more powerful but less vector-driven internal engine. we have a string of disposables here. And all of that would probably be just fine getting this out to space and into interplanetary space inside the Kerbin system. But I decided to just play around with what I have here and stuck that on there because I can. It amused me to think that all this is going to be riding up on top of this basically V2-like object. So, I don't know if it's going to fall over and die, but this might be strong enough to hold up the whole thing. It might just collapse and explode, which will be funny, and I can then redo it with a proper launch system, but let's put it out as it is, right? Okay. Ooh, it bounces and it shimmies. But it is standing still. Yep. That will work. Okay, RCS and SAS is on. Let's put main thrust to about 3/4 and let us make sure our resources are available. Okay, so the electric charge is holding. Good. So we're getting some charge in from those batteries then. Because the reaction wheels are spinning. So, okay. Let's 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a go, man, go. Ooh, she bounces, she springs. She does move, though. I wasn't expecting this kind of reaction out of this. That is one powerful engine setup. Okay. Oh, the toys you get to play with when you just have sandbox mode. In fact, let's conserve some fuel. What is that, it? And right, solid core. Got some of my classic strutting going on as well, just so things don't break apart upon thrust. Starting to edge her over. See the vernier thrusters firing there if you're very careful. Too hard, still atmospheric here. You can see the vernier thrusters are doing a very good job of turning us. And the fuel tanks are doing fine. Might want to just... there we go, just the attitude, just slightly, a bit too much. Okay, come on, there we go. And yeah, she wants to spin a bit, but that'll change when we lose the outer engines. Let's have a look at the arc. Apoapsis is doing fine, but I want it to be a bit higher. In fact, I want us to be moving a bit faster. There we go. Okay, kill the engine. Time to rotate the ship. Look at that. It just kind of wobbles all over the place. That's the simulation of the fuel tanks. I only have so much time for this maneuver. Okay. Come on. Come on, you beast. There we go. I should have put more reaction wheels in. Okay. Start burning away. Good, good, good. That's exactly what we want. Nice clean break. And the music tells us we're in space, yes. And our arc is just flying away at us. Good stuff. But we are Well, she's a little more responsive now. We're just down to the core. Alright. There we go. Apoapsis is sinking away behind us. We're now at Periapsis coming up behind us. That is exactly how it should be. Now, kill the engine for conservation of fuel, because we're now at the low end of our orbit. So you can see we're quite stretched away over there. Time to look for an interplanetary goal, I think. Let's see. What is around? Well, there's Drez. Could try to arc out to Duna, but... It would appear that Jool is on the far side of the sun from us, so it's a bit awkward. Suppose I could burn towards Drez. The thing is, the further out I get, the more inefficient my little power system's going to get. Eve? Could go in for Eve? Going for Moho? Yeah. Alright. So if I want to set up for Moho... Let's see now. Alright, so from Apoapsis, Periapsis... Probably want to burn from roughly here. And then send it out. This is all going to be seat of your pants. If you're looking for Scott Manley and his accurate ways of doing things and not making a mess of all this stuff, go check his channel out. I am totally doing this by the seat of my pants and what I know about the system. And once this burns out towards... How are we doing on power? We're doing fine on power. We got half a tank of fuel. Kerbin is passing below us. We'll have the instruments check. Gravity, we are picking up gravity data. Okay. On the opposite side here should be my... Oh yes, the acceleration. Currently not actually accelerating. We're in microgravity, which is correct. Okay, so... suppose as good a time as any to start burning. Honestly, we're just going to need to get away from Kerbin. Okay, that puts us out of Kerbin gravity. Let's have a look and see how this portrays our orbit on the wider stage. Okay. So yeah, we're accelerating out. Really could make Duna, couldn't I? Small attitude adjustment, but it could happen, and it's on the same trajectory that we're currently on. As you can see, my Apoapsis is changing in interstellar space, interplanetary space. Meanwhile, I should go and make sure my t-shirt is appropriate for the job. Wouldn't want want to offend anybody. Let's see here. Just get me away from Kerbin as much as possible, because the Xenon engine does not have a lot of kick, and I probably could have gotten away with a lot less amount of propellant, as it looks like we have an awful lot of it. But so, c'est la vie. That is a design flaw. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to kick the engine off, and we're going to accelerate away from Kerbin. Various unknown objects that we're lagging behind here. And we're going to ride it around to the sun's apoapsis, because that's where my remaining fuel will make maximum effect. Okay. Make sure my target is still lined up. There we go. And okay. Burner out. Now, I'm going to keep that stage around just so you can see what it's like to accelerate the little Xenon engine. There we go. Whoa! We're accelerating away very slightly. Now, as you can see, periapsis is coming in line with Eve. If I set Eve as the target, that's my closest point. Interesting to find out. Can I get an Eve encounter while I'm trying to try for a Dune encounter as well? We will find out, but I can't find out while I'm accelerating. See, we are burning more power than I can make. I better extend these solar panels. There we go. Power flooding back into the batteries. And why no, the thrust isn't too harsh on the solar arrays. Actually, this is something that would work. There we go, we're back to full charge. Lovely. Now, unfortunately, without opening up the cheat console, you can't accelerate while under acceleration the time. Which, to me, sucks. Why is this a limitation in the model? I don't know. But it is. But as you can see in the time I've been talking, my periapsis has actually moved inside of Eve's orbit. And apoapsis is actually pushed out ahead of the sun. So, voila, I am overcoming the sun's gravity with a xenon ion gas drive, which considering its fuel consumption, will run for a very long time. Let's see. Under full burn, if I'm using half a unit a second, so every minute I'm using 30 units. So that's every hour I'm using 180 units. Oh my god, I have hours upon hours of real-time burn in that fuel tank. I can leave it running for like half the entire day and come back later on. It'll still be there. But it isn't the most exciting thing to watch at the moment, unfortunately. It is just an interstellar probe trying to get to where it's going, minding its own business, not wearing any kind of offensive t-shirts or just trying to advance humanity, Kerbin kind and science, you know. Yeah, what if I said Eve is the target? What would it look like? Be largely the same. Slight change in attitude there. Voila. Well, even if I leave it as it is, what we'll do is we'll kill the engine. There we are. And we could accelerate. As you can see here, we are moving along. Eve scoots around pretty quick, doesn't it? And with this kind of orbit, I am passing through 2 planetary orbits. Kerbin and Eve. And now we're closer to Kerbin, the closer to Sun than Kerbin is. Shame I can't accelerate while thrusting. But I'm not going to bother with the cheap consoles right now and that kind of stuff. But this is all just like sandbox mode, and that's how I want to play with it. Right. Now we're in the neighborhood. I could decelerate. Which means turning this around to that. And of course it would mean having to turn on the engine and run at full power, and then watch the numbers come down as the apoapsis comes down and periapsis comes down, because we're effectively decelerating relative to the sun. I mean, right now my orbit takes effectively a year. This is not a high-energy craft. But there we go. I think that's enough for this video. My voice is getting a bit haggard as it is. So, I hope you enjoyed me just screwing around. Surprisingly few explosions in this. I honestly didn't expect it to hold it together on a launch pad when I just set it out without any supports. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video, and sorry I missed out on a variety of things back there because of the bad voice, but hopefully I can get back to a regular schedule of production. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, folks. Goodbye.